Hello and welcome to India Today. I am Sanjay Ponappa.
And this is Maruti Acharya, and we just completed watching the movie Court, State versus a Nobody.
This courtroom drama is more about emotions and trying to invoke knowledge about the case, especially the POXO Act. But it is not so much about the court and the proceedings that happens there. It is more about the emotions, which could work or could not work. It is right there somewhere in between.
Court is a good entertainer with a very nice concept, very beautiful execution in some moments, and good idea. But I am personally a little underwhelmed with the movie. Let me make it very clear. This might work for a lot of people. It is a very safe movie, and the makers were playing right for the gallery. So the template, the everything about that movie, if it works for you, you might really enjoy it. But we have a different opinion. That is what we're going to talk about. Court, State versus a Nobody is a movie presented by Nani, produced by Wallposter Cinema, stars Priyadarshi, Roshan, Sridevi, Sai Kumar, Subhalekha Sudhakar. And the movie is directed by a debutant, Jagadeesh.
Diving deeper into the one-liner that I gave, I felt like this film, especially, you can see this film in two halves, literally in two halves, the first half and the second half. The first half majorly, very nicely, steadily. Otherwise, I would call it slowly, but I felt like this very steadily established the premise, established what the plot is going to be, established the backstories, the lives, the kind of upbringing that everybody has. All of these were very steadily and in some portions slowly established, but by the interval period, you are properly engaged with the drama and the emotions that is happening in the film. While the film, as the title says, court, which is where the second half comes in, most of the second half is courtroom and the drama that happens there, but still somehow it doesn't feel as intense as one might think a courtroom drama would be. That for me personally was a bit of a demerit, because all of a sudden a case that is supposed to be state versus a nobody became a very simple case to solve, especially for the protagonist played by Priyadarshi. It felt like a very easy case to solve, especially if, as an audience, you've consumed enough courtroom dramas, you've consumed all the series that is out there, all the films in Indian cinema. So all these cases were mentioned there, were actively involved in the case, but then it felt like all of a sudden those were all petty fake cases, and that was very easy to prove for the protagonist. So it felt like the drama was there, but it was more emotional. Because of that reason, it was playing on the people's emotions, but then the courtroom segment wasn't that wow.
So director Ram Jagadish, despite being a debutant, it is very clear that he has a right grip on emotions, which he brilliantly executed in the first half, despite of some love scenes which for some people might feel a little stretched, but it completely worked for me. They were really going good. They were setting up everything about the actors, both, and Shivaji itself is a strong quality in the movie. Actor Shivaji, who really brilliantly played every scene, especially in the first half that he features. It was a great comeback that I wanted to see him after like 19 years. He's back on silver screen. It was really good. So, like I previously mentioned, the core strength of the movie, which is titled Court, is emotional drama, not court, which we have seen lot of times in Telugu cinema. It is not a new trope. It is a regular, very good template. The execution is right. Yeah, it is a good attempt, but it had lot of scope. But still, it took the route of being a very generic one, which I personally felt it is underwhelming. And adding on to that is definitely the court proceedings, because the kind of sections and the case in hand is very serious and critical. See, I don't have any problem with the way they have dealt it. Some comedy, some humor, and all of that is good. But the details of the case and the way things unravel are so easy that any genuinely, like the Priyadarshi character is playing as a junior lawyer, associate lawyer who's trying to get a case, and despite of him being, there is nothing to do with him being skillful. Anybody can actually unravel the case. So the proceedings were so normal, but the beauty of it and why I feel it works for a lot of people is because the director knew that he's playing for the gallery, he's playing to the gallery. So everything looks nice, the emotions are hitting everything, but it is not going anywhere other than that. It just ends up feeling like any regular commercial movie rather than a good courtroom drama when the film is titled Court. I think that is my biggest problem with the movie.
Talking about the performances in the film, I felt like performance-wise, this film was very satisfying.
Correct.
Given the main characters in the film, which was Harsh, Roshan,
Yeah.
and Sridevi, the young ones who are embroiled, who are entangled in this case. Young age, new, very young age infatuation, love, all of that. The emotions were conveyed really nicely. They played to the parts really well. Along with that, Priyadarshi did a good job. Shivaji, for me, he was the standout performer in this film. I hated that man since the very minute I saw him on the screen, and that shows a good performance.
Correct.
He is the antagonist in the film, and again, if he is able to invoke that hate against him, I feel like that is a great performance. So kudos to him. Sai Kumar did really well in his part. He felt like a proper mentor.
Correct.
Although I think that that one character was written really nicely.
Yeah.
So I feel performance-wise, this film doesn't really lack anywhere. It felt like everybody did what the director was asking of them, what the script was asking of them.
That the technical departments also, camera, music, background music, everything did their fair share of job. Especially I feel like music did a lot of service to the movie in elevating the drama which the director was trying to aim.
Taking the contrary side over there, I felt like the background music was trying really hard, like a little too hard to invoke emotions.
Okay.
Especially in several moments in the second half, while the courtroom drama was happening, it felt like the music is trying to invoke some emotion which isn't really translating on the screen. So I felt like there was a mismatch, and the music was forcing me to feel this way.
Music.
Which side are you on? Let us know in the
Yeah,
comments
let us know in
below.
the comments below. Music was okay, but I think the authenticity with the language, I actually personally, because for not a lot of people it might be a problem, but the movie is set up between like Vizag, Vijay, there are some scenes. So the authenticity of language, either you stick to proper full Telugu or the slang. Some characters actually speak the slang, some characters don't, and it is not adding up to the movie. It's okay if it is blending in, it is okay, but there are some moments where it is very evident. Not be a very big problem.
Although I'm not Teluguite, I understood that there were dialects being tried to play it there, but that wasn't consistent. So that is the problem here. Consistency with the dialect. Although I'm not a Teluguite, if I could make out, so that is one thing that was definitely.
The production values in the movie are really good. We know Nani and Wallposter Cinema, they never hesitate to experiment, and with the kind of themes and everything that they have chosen, really good. But again, that is where I will put a comma, because take Awe or Hit, they are very unconventional movies for their time, which Nani banked on, and it really worked and showed the kind of potential that the direct as a producer also Nani has. Awe is an experimental film, and Hit in its way is a very big experimental film in terms of cop dramas. But when it comes to Court, I feel like they were, like I mentioned, they chose the very easy template route. They were playing to the gallery. They very people pleasing movie. Everything is so convenient. Everything is so nice. And because it is Nani production, and with the trailer, they said they are trying so many things. I was expecting something more. I'm not going to spoil, but there is this one scene. Something happened in a room, and the movie is around that. So I have a very strong feeling that if you connect or have a feeling about, if you're emotionally invested with what happened in the room, then you might have a different opinion about the movie. But if that scene doesn't work for you, I feel like even the parts that work for you might just drop. The graph just drops like this, which actually happened for me. I understand the logic, I understand a lot of things, but still, all the easy routes are in one way. That one scene is, I feel like, yeah, they could have done much better with that scene.
Overall, this film is, again, like I said, banking on the emotions of the people. The courtroom drama genre, if you're expecting that, that is not what you're going to get. But this film is all about carrying a message, an important message at
Correct.
that, and also delivering it with a lot of emotions and emotional arc, whatever is going to happen to families and all of that. You might like it. We are mentioning that repeatedly because we can acknowledge what is going on the screen and the kind of template that is presented there, whatever is happening on the screen. So much of cinema, we are cinephiles, we know how this works, but this is just us putting forward our candid opinion about the film.
Personally feel a good attempt is its own place, and good film is in its own place. Lot of movies that I watched, which some people might like, some people might not like. The difference is it is a good attempt. They try to attempt something. When it is good attempt, the attempt also has some underwhelming aspects. If it is a good film, they have done most of the things right. This is my understanding. What do you think? Mention that in the comments below.
If you like the trailer, if you're interested in watching the film, please do go to the theaters, watch the film, and then what did you feel about it? Mention that in our comments below. With that, I am Sanjay Ponappa,
And this is Maruti Acharya.
and you're watching India Today.